I mean, because also too, I feel like more like like during COVID times, I feel like a lot of people had more time for it,
Hmm.
mainly more because of how they were in home, and then also too, um, a lot of a lot of the music people, they just do everything on hand, and they just have a lot of more time.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely probably is that, right? Like a lot of people had the time to do different things and try different things. But
Yeah.
I know, I guess nobody wants to take a chance on the podcast, so on my podcast.
Well, hey, you never know.
So we're gonna make it without him, girl.
We got this. If not, just use what is it? Early 2000s music, and there you go.
Oh, dude, they've cracked down so much on that, like the YouTube, like using music.
Mhm.
Like even when I put up podcasts, you have to sign this thing saying like you're not using third party content.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it was fairly recent because I remember maybe about 5 years, less than 5 years ago, like people were using, music, popular music in their podcasts. But I guess they started cracking down once it started growing bigger.
Well, yeah, it's because it's like basically like what is it like more money into them
Oh
basically.
yeah, I mean you can't have people capitalizing on your thing and not get anything right out
Yeah.
of it. Sheesh, I don't even know where to begin on this.
You got this, Monty.
Oh yeah, I like creating new hair, new hairstyles. When somebody comes in, you just kind of figure it out.
That's good. You have like a good creativity in mind.
Mm.
I feel like that's how I am at work. With certain stuff or certain people, I know from how to go, where to go. But when it comes to like my kids, I'm like, yeah, I don't got patience for this.
I think it's like you find something that you like, and you know,
Yeah.
your creativity is sparked. I forgot. I was having a conversation with somebody about that. Actually, I think it was the kid in front of you.
Mhm.
He was like, he's gonna be a senior, and then he was saying that his school offers an automotive thing, which
Oh
is fairly
wow.
recent, right? Because I know Arancho had that, but obviously they never did anything with it. I think it was just like a storage room.
Yeah.
So he was kind of asking me if I went to college, and I told him yeah. And I did the whole thing, and it wasn't for me. Like I got to the end of the road for my my field of study, and I was like, nah,
Mhm.
I don't want to do this. So I was just kind of trying to tell him like, not everybody's built for the
Certain
same
stuff,
thing.
yeah. No, I get you.
Did you always want to go into nursing?
When I was little, I had like two things: either be a chef or be a nurse.
Mm.
So then, obviously, it's like I would watch shows like for like example like Hell's Kitchen. Back then, like where he used to like cuss at them, throw his stuff at them, all that
Now
good
it's all
stuff.
tamed.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, do I really want that? Like somebody like that to be
Mm.
yelling at me all the time, or create something that I think is good, but yet to somebody else it's not.
Mm.
I don't know. And then I guess when my grandma was alive, I would help her like with her diabetes, so give her insulin, do all that stuff. And she was like telling me like a lot of stuff, like how like light I am on my hand. So that kind of pushed me a little bit more.
How what?
Like how I have a light hand, like when I would give her insulin, like with
Oh, okay.
needles basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then I was like, all right, like maybe I should look into it. And then after that, like after I graduated from high school, I just went straight to school, to a trade school. I did my all my MA stuff, and honestly, I didn't know where I like what specialty I wanted to. So like let's just say like peds, to work with elderly, to work with the pregnant women.
Mm.
But once I actually went into it, I kind of knew that I wanted to do like wounds. So like I could see blood, I could see like
Ugh,
bone. Yeah,
you got that?
I have that hard of a
Nah, man,
stomach.
I got a weak stomach. That ain't for Papa.
Yeah. No, for me it's like I love doing it. Like all the crazy stuff that I've seen now, I feel like whoa. You get me? Even though like probably at home I'd be like, oh, what the heck, ew. Get John to do it for me, but when I'm at work, I'm like a whole different person. Like, oh, I got this.
Your other character per se comes in.
Yeah, like I know this is gonna be gross, and I'm sorry, Monty,
Hey,
but
man,
I've
you.
seen a wound that had maggots on it. Like, yeah.
You know, it's crazy, and I don't want to put anybody under the bus, so they're gonna remain anonymous. Anonymous
Uh-huh.
is they had those little like how would you call it? It's not. It's like a pimple that's filled with like pus and stuff.
Uh-huh.
They had that, and they emptied it. I was in the room, and it was disgusting. It's like I don't have the stomach for that person.
Yeah, you see, no, I'm trying over here with John, like with any little pimple, I'm over here going crazy, and he's over here pushing me, going, no. But yeah, no, I live for that, I guess you can say.
Yeah, nah, I have a weak stomach, so it ain't gonna be for me. You know what I mean?
And I'm also thinking about doing surgical tech, so like being in the surgeries. But I don't know, with two kids.
It's so hard to find time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense now when like older heads would tell me, you know, a few years ago, like try to do it now when you're single and stuff. I'm like, yeah,
Or you
yeah,
don't
for
have
sure.
kids.
And then now it's like, oh, I see why.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are able to like manage and cope, right? Despite where you're at
Um,
now.
brutally honest, there's our ups and there's their downs. But I feel like sometimes it's more, how do I say it? Like, I feel like it's more on mom than on dad.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, thank God, like, for the help of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that much. Like, everybody's been helping us. Linda has helped us. His dad has helped us. My parents are, like, actually the ones that helped us the most. So, but honestly, sometimes when I come home, it's a little bit hard because it's like you gotta be mom and wife at the same time. You gotta learn how to give everybody's attention more.
You know what? We've been having this conversation a lot lately with like dads. Obviously, I cut more men's hair than
Then
women's,
women's, uh-huh.
so shout out to you for coming through.
Yeah.
But that seems to be like the general consensus because like right now, especially like our kids are young, and to be really honest, they don't want us dads. Like they're so attached to you guys. You know, mamas are so important.
Yeah, because sometimes the way how I see it is like who's the first one that they see when they're sick, or who's the first one when they see when they're hungry.
Right.
Sometimes dads, like, like I give you guys props, like you guys are up and about at 5, 4 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
starting to get money, like starting the hustle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got us moms that are stay-at-home moms, working moms from home. Now, I mean nowadays because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then you got working moms. So it's like when you're working mom at a different place than other than home, it's like you're trying to split yourself in two, especially if school calls you or your kiddo's sick, all that stuff. When you're a stay-at-home mom, you have more chances of learning how to work with them,
Mm.
learning like you know them better than anybody else.
Right.
And then I don't know, that's just me.
It makes
But,
sense. I mean, there's different roles, right? But no,
and then you also have like those stay-at-home dads too,
yeah.
You got like the moms that are working, the dads that are stay at home. They get everything ready. So when mom comes home, dinner is ready, the house is clean, you get me?
Hmm.
So it's like it's vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's different, but I mean, I don't think I could be that. Like, as much as like you fantasize, especially when you're at work, you're like, man, I could be
At
I feel
home.
like I could be a stay-at-home dad, in this
Yeah.
moment. But Not saying I don't love my family or anything, but
Yeah.
when I go on a vacation from work for a week,
Mhm.
by like day 3 or 4, I'm like, all right,
I'm done.
I need to get out of here. Again, it's not that I don't love my family. It's just like I need to be working. I think,
You're just so used to it.
yeah, like I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but it's
I mean, for me, it's just like this whole weekend. I was snapping at the kids and at John. One, because I hate the heat.
because you what?
I hate the heat.
Oh yeah,
And so it puts me in a bad mood. But then also, too, it's like, for me, well, for my boys, sometimes they just want mommy.
yeah.
And sometimes I just see John and he's just there chilling, laying down, watching TV. But I'm over here like cooking. The kids want something. I don't know what.
You're wearing like 15 different hats.
Exactly. Like I need to go use the restroom. I can't. Or
Mm.
like I gotta go outside. Then they're both crying or one's running after me. And I'm like, okay.
That's literally like what we go through too, and then it's tough because then it puts a strain on like your relationship to your wife or your husband. It's like,
Yeah, like
but then I try to like tell Rosie, I was like, they don't want me, man. Like, if I tried, which I do, like to help you out during that time, like they're just gonna dodge me and run right to you, like because
mhm.
they don't want me.
Yeah.
Mama's here, but like I said, I've had him, these couple days by myself, and now that my wife's not here, is like hopefully they understand now, like, hey, Dad's got you too. Like, I can not do it as well as Mom, but
Yeah,
I can hold
but
it down for a little bit.
mhm.
And I like it too because, now that Rosie's, gone for a little bit, it kind of forces me to step up. Like we were talking about earlier, I don't cook, but I but I made them food and they liked it. They ate food that they usually don't. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, maybe I can do this. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I mean, you won't know till you try, right?
Right. It's just like anything else. Like anything new that you try is always gonna be scary, and you're probably not gonna be good at it. But
The first couple times after that, you're like, all
yeah.
right, let's do this.
So I mean, you just gotta take chances.
Mhm.
But
Don't be be scared, but don't be scared to the point where it's gonna hold you back.
yeah, you can't be paralyzed. Like
Yeah.
you gotta just take the good with the bad.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But until then, stay strong, keep going.
Thanks. Same to you.
Thanks.
You got this.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
I think for me, speaking like on like personal experience from being a single mom before I met John,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like the first year I was scared because it's like it's a newborn. I have nobody except my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what do I do when they cry? Like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do? Like, if, like, just so many scenarios. And after like his first birthday, I was like, oh, I got this. Like, it's easy. Like, I had my routine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get up early, get ready, get him ready. I mean, even though the babysitter was in the same house, but still.
Right. Yeah. No. It's from waking up until you hand off the baby to somebody else. It's still work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. For me, it was like my personal time was like from the car ride to work and then from the work to home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I would blast my music, be like enjoy my only time that I would have. Because once I get home, I already know like I'm not gonna have that anymore.
Right. It is the same thing for dads too. Like
Mhm.
obviously, again, we don't serve the same functions to our kids as moms do, but for me personally, it's like I have another job other than this one, and I wake up early, I go, and I'm happy to do it because I'm serving my family. But it's also finding that time. For me, it's working out. Like I need to have an hour to just take my mind off of whatever was bothering me from that day.
Mhm.
And
And you see, that's where I feel like for me, like I need to learn how to give time to John with the kids and make my hour time.
yeah,
Because he's always telling me, like, you don't trust me with the kids. Or I'm like, yeah, there's times where I don't. Because he kind of dozes off sometimes. And the kids are just, like, running around.
Just chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that's one thing in the back of my head. So that's why sometimes, like, I think about it twice.
Yeah.
If I should go or should not go. But I mean, like, hey, like, you married me, you have a kid, we have kids together. So, I mean, it's not just my responsibility, it's also yours.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's what we were talking about earlier is like when your back's up against the wall and there's nobody else there to help you, you got to do it, man, because
Hmm.
you can't have your kids being hungry. You
Yeah.
know
Like sometimes, like, you're just dead tired, and one of them comes to you, like, I'm hungry, or like, it's morning, it's not night.
what I mean?
Yep. So, that's the one part with that. I know.
Just go to sleep. Leave me alone.
I know.
That's all. That's like our running joke with the kids. Is like they're angels when they're asleep, and now it's like, but when they wake up, it's like, oh my god,
I
go back
know.
to sleep.
Like, just give me 5 more minutes, please.
It's funny because, like I said, I had the kids, and then we were at my pad, and they were awesome. I loved it. And they wake up, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep in because I called out of my other job,
Hmm.
and then I think I slept until like 7:30, and then I had my son slapping me in the head, trying to wake me up, and Aaron's the one that like likes to sleep in, so that one's cool.
Yeah,
It's
so it's
kind of
like
I got
two.
to. I feel like it's kind of picking your pockets, finding your pockets of when you can do things and when you can't.
Hmm.
But
Or like, basically, who's gonna know more of your kids? You are. So it's like, okay, from like, let's just say 7:30 to 8:30.
mhm,
Like, it's just you and Uriah. So it's like
yeah,
you guys have your own little time, and then you could do whatever you want with him. And then Aaron wakes up. So
yeah,
maybe Uriah's gonna go down sometimes. I don't know. But it's like you have that time, like that one-on-one time with them. You get
yeah.
me?
And that's something I've learned recently to enjoy because I like to ask a lot of older people, because they've lived life and they've experienced things. So I like to ask them like, hey, what's something that you would recommend and what's something that you feel you messed up on. And no
Yeah.
judgment here. Like I'm asking you because I have that opportunity to find out from someone who has that experience. Like, what could you have done better?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, especially the man, is just like cherish this time when they're younger. As annoying as it is, you can't even go to the restroom by yourself. Like,
Mhm.
because one day, dude, they're not gonna want you. Like, that's it. And it's fast. How fast does 5 years go?
Yeah,
A
like
year ago, two
eh,
ago.
yeah, like I don't know if you like saw like that one like Instagram post where like I saw where I posted where like they're small right now. I enjoy the time when they're like wanting to be next to me, but with this damn heat, I don't want them anywhere
Yeah.
near me.
Oh, dude, yeah. The heat makes it a lot worse. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. But also too, like sometimes on Saturday mornings, like I don't know if you see my post where like I'm walking or
mm,
like I try to go for walks before everybody wakes up. I try to do that, but if not, sometimes Aaron will like wake up with me.
mm,
So then me and him go for a walk. And that like that's his moment with me that I enjoy.
the one on one.
Yeah. And then also too like or we go to the car wash together.
Mm.
So he'll be like car wash and I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go. And then
That's so funny you say that because my Erin she does the same thing. She begs Rosie to go to the car wash. She's like, dude, we're not going to days.
yeah.
And it's like as soon as like they do come back, like let's go again. It's like nah, we don't. We're good
Yeah.
for a little bit. You know what I mean?
But Aaron is like the most adventurous kid. Like when I would tell him let's go for a walk, he's the one that pushes me to do a lot of things. Like one thing I've noticed too, it's like I'm gonna talk about this like some of us deal with like depression, so like mental
Mm.
health basically.
Right.
And honestly, like everybody shows it in a different way.
Mm.
Some of us show it by like crying a lot, sleeping a lot, either eating a lot, or like arguing with a lot of people a lot, or just different ways. Aaron is the type of person that I don't know if he feels like mommy like is not okay,
Mm.
or to the point where he like, come on, mom, let's go walking, or mom, let's go outside. when it's just me and him and Sebastian,
Mm.
he's the one that actually pushes me to do a lot of stuff more than anybody else. Like he's the one that actually like basically saying like let's do this, let's do that. Come
Yeah.
on, mom. So he's kind of my little motivation to do a lot of things.
You know what? I think that's why I'm a big proponent of like people, you know, taking their kids with them to exercise because one, kids need it too, whether you believe it or not. But it's also like you're setting them up for success
Mhm.
because, like for myself, for example, I didn't have the healthiest parents, and it's not a knock on them. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
They had they lived a different lifestyle, different era where health wasn't a priority. But now, like we kind of see these things, you know, with all this progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm of the thing where like I like to take the kids in the garage with me and just have them sit there. I usually put on like Moana and they'll sit there and watch it. And I can do my workout and they're it's kind of two birds one stone. They're watching me work out, but they're also learning like, hey, we need to make time to take care of our body too. It's not. It has to be balanced.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm still trying to like how do you say like multitask?
Mm-hmm.
Like what are some ways that I can work with Aaron and Sebastian? Cuz sometimes being outside like I just can't due to certain reasons. But like on the weekend, I try to go out for walks with them, even if Sebi's on the stroller and then Aaron's walking. I try to ride his bike, but sometimes I'm scared he'll go in the middle of the street. So
Is he like? Does he got sidetracked? Does he got the hang of that? Like, or is he still doing the like training wheels and
he
all
still
that?
has the training wheels. But I'm just scared like he'll go to the middle of the street just because it's a little bit more sturdier.
Oh yeah.
So you know where we live, like the whole riverbed. So it's like one side is gravel, the other side is like cement, like the cement. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a little bit more flatter. And then so that's one thing I'm still trying to work on. But my dad's currently fixing my bike, so hopefully I can go on like little bike rides with them.
mm.
And then I just need to find John a bike too. So
That sinking guy, dude. I love that
hey,
guy, man.
deep down I love him, but there are certain times where it's like I'm really fighting it. You get me?
Yeah.
We've had our fights to the point where it's like I kind of wanted to call it quits.
Mm.
Just I'm, and he knows this, and it's like because it's like I feel like I'm giving the whole 100 and he's barely giving anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the times like we've gone to work out with you, like well, the only time actually, and it's like it's
So
like
far.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like because it's like it felt good, and you saw me continue going with Rocio, but then I got exposed to someone with COVID,
Mm.
and then it just went downhill from there. But like I actually felt good. It like I actually like got I felt energy. I'm like right now I'm still learning how to change my diet,
Yeah.
even though he sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Um, just it's just a little bit harder because it's like you want to do better, but then you have somebody else that doesn't. So
Yeah. You know what? And what I've learned, because I'm not the healthiest person by any means, like, but it really is like you have to make a conscious effort to do it because life happens, like kids get sick, you get sick, but it's just making that choice like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna hold on to this and make time for it because there's a million and one things to do as a parent and just as an adult, like, but you
yeah,
need to, it's important for your overall vitality of
and
keeping
you
yourself healthy.
exactly, and it's like also too, and it's like John. He's a pretty big guy.
Mm.
He had Bell's palsy. What is it? 2 years ago? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, about 2 years ago, right? So that was kind of a little eye opener for me.
Right.
I don't know about him. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't take it too serious. Sometimes I feel like he does. I don't know. Sometimes the way how he is sometimes throws me off. But I try to like remind them too. It's like you just got Bell's palsy, and it's like you're young. At that time, you were what, 28?
Yeah,
Who in that age gets that? And how are you so stressed? And I remember I was barely pregnant with Sebastian. So it's like, I don't know. For me, that's an eye opener. Like, I don't want to go through that again.
yeah. And then that's like another thing too is now it's not just you and your one son. Now it's you and your two sons. So it's I can imagine it's stressful. You already came from that background of having being a single mom, and
Yeah.
that added if you were to lose him too, right? Like,
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like, I kind of just tell him, like, one thing he'd always tell me when I was pregnant, it's because I want to be running around behind them. I don't want to be that dad that's like dying behind them.
yeah,
I'm like, well, you don't have to work out, but at least start changing the way you eat.
yeah, and that's
You
the
get me?
biggest thing, right? Because food's so good, man. Especially these days, everybody's throwing everything on everything, and it's all this
Exactly.
fusion. And there's nothing wrong. It's just when people ask me what do I do, and it's like it's just I always tell them it's a conscious effort. It doesn't mean you can't have like I eat like Reese's,
Mm-hmm.
pretty often, but I also do the things that I need to do to work it off.
Exactly. But you see, it's like me personally, I eat the ice cream. I'll eat that, but tell me, where does my butt go? To the couch.
Yeah,
Why? Because I had a long day at work. One, and another thing too, why? Because I'm tired. Like, the kids finally fall asleep. And then, so that's one thing too. I mean, for one, it's like John gets off of work earlier than me. So sometimes it's like I tell him, why don't you start prepping like the meat or whatever we want for dinner, like start taking it out. So when I get home, I just have to put everything together and like, all right, let's do this. But sometimes he just wants red meat, he wants beans, he wants rice. Sometimes he doesn't like the vegetables. So it's like, so it's like, and then sometimes I feel like I have to make like three different meals.
yeah,
One for the kids, one for him, and one for me.
yeah. I mean that's tough, man. Because like this, the work that he does is very physical. So when you do come home, I understand. Like you're in the sun, and you've been working all day, and you just want to come home and chill. But there's always like it's also you have a family too, so
Mhm.
everything plays into each other, and I feel like it's a hard balance to find. I mean, you ask my wife, and she'll tell you I fail at that.
Yeah.
It's a different thing between talking about it and doing it. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Like, for me, I feel like I kind of hit a realization. I don't even know if that's a word, but
Realization.
yeah, like, I don't even know if that's a word.
Sounds good.
I know, right? But I was like, one thing I realized a lot was that my dad kind of gave me like that high expectation on like on a husband, on a dad,
Yeah.
and on a father. So same thing, but because when I was younger, he would come home. At that time, he would drink,
Mm.
but he would still spend time with us.
Right.
You get me? Or we would travel. We would go hiking. We'll go to different state. We'll go to Mexico. We'll go camping. Sometimes when he would come home, he would still work around the house, like cutting the yard, fixing his truck, um, just like in general. But sometimes how I like when I see John, it's just like I thought you, like, when you come home, you still be with the kids, like enjoy your time. You get me?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like, I kind of like, I don't know if it's like daddy issues or whatever, but sometimes that's how I felt like, oh well, like, if I can't do it, like, my dad would take care of us sometimes
Right.
instead of my mom giving her that break. But sometimes I feel like, come on, dude, like, I don't know. That's just me.
No, I mean, again, everything that you're saying, you ask my wife, and she'll say something of the similar. It's not like the desire is not there, but at least for mine, like I had a dad who was there, and his he came from a broken home too. So I mean, excuses or whatever, but it is what it is. If you don't
Mhm.
have somebody to teach you what it is to be a parent at a young age, then it's kind of like, how do you do it? And then you get into that thing we are talking about. It's like you're scared to even try, you know.
Yeah.
But when you have kids, it's like, well, it's now or never. And I'm kind of learning that. There's definitely been a change from Aaron to Uriah, for example. It's like when Aaron was born, I was a brand new dad, and kind of didn't realize that these years are limited, you know.
Mhm.
So when Uriah came around, it wasn't like a dramatic change, but I definitely noticed like, hey, I do things a little bit different. I make time. I try to get on the floor even when I'm tired and just play with them because, like I said, there's gonna be one day that they're not gonna want to hang out with me no more. So got to
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
Yeah. So now, I mean, just last night actually, I'm trying to make it a routine where, like, at night, if before watching cartoons or whatever, try to read a book with them.
Yeah.
Even though, like, maybe Sebi doesn't pay attention, but it's fine. But like with Aaron, like he's a little bit older. He knows. He goes to take care, so he knows what mommy's trying to do. Cause
Mm,
sometimes depending, like, and I realized that, like, depending how our parents treat us when we're younger, they might look at us different when we're older.
mm,
Like, in the back of our heads, like, yeah, they're our kids, we love them, but sometimes we don't show that much. We don't show them that kind of love and affection.
right.
So once we actually give it, they're like, "What are you doing to me?" You
What
got
is?
me?
Who are you? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. No, it's fine. Because, like, brutally honest, like, my mom, like, she now, I guess, like, after I moved out with John, like, she started talking to me more.
Mm.
Like, she started, like, giving me hugs more, and I'm just like, who are you? Like,
Where
basic,
was this?
exactly.
But don't you think that's like a perfect example of what I was saying earlier is like you kind of learn as you go along.
Yeah. So it's just, like, one thing, like, I remember, like, before I even had kids, I would always say, like, I'm gonna show like, my kids, like, how to love.
Mm,
Like, I'm gonna give them the affection my parents didn't give them. Like, I kind of picked up where, like, my parents kind of messed up, and, like, instead of, like, being strict on me, try to let loose. And if, like, that doesn't work, then obviously be strict on them
yeah,
because you lost
try a
them.
different approach, but
Yeah,
also I'm the same way. That's my view on it. Is take the good that you had with your parents. And that was the
yeah,
reason why I was telling you about my dad earlier. Is like my dad is the type of guy or he was, um, where it was like his form of being around us was like paying for things like sports and stuff.
yeah.
But it was like, dude, I needed somebody to talk to,
Mhm.
and he used to work construction too, so he was like just come home
Tired.
and just watch TV, and he was also sick too,
Yeah.
with the kidney disease. So
Mhm.
it's not easy. I recognize that,
Yeah.
but it's like we were talking, how you were saying like your dad made the effort, to even though he was taking care of business around the house, he was also making time for you, right? So it gave you that understanding of what a husband should be or what a father looks like, right?
Yeah. Or, like, I don't know, like, for me, but, like, from my experience, it's like, who was the one always taking me to the games or all that stuff? It would be my mom.
Hmm.
She'd be the one trying to, like, break in her head. How would we get there? How would we not get there? Like, and on top of that, still making dinner, still, like, being with her with us, doing our homework, all that stuff, like, helping us out.
Right.
And then I just remember my dad, like, getting home, drinking, and then that's it. And throwing parties. So,
And
like,
what?
and throwing parties. Like,
Oh,
my
dog
dad was
party.
the type of person. But now that I'm older, it's like a lot of those memories I started to, like, realize, like, well, shit, like, he was there doing this, he was paying for that. We never, like, basically, we never ran out of food. We never ran out of, we always had a roof over our head.
Right.
Some stuff that we couldn't get, but he would still try to make an effort for it.
It was a different role. It was
Yeah,
a
like,
different
instead
role.
of getting stuff of good looks, like brand stuff, like Vans, Nikes, all that stuff,
Hmm.
we would travel.
Yeah.
So those are the memories that I remember. So that's why, like, now that I'm older, like, I cherish it. Some of the advice that they still give me, like, I take it and I don't get upset. I try not to get upset, actually. But
Let me correct that.
yeah. But I mean, like, I still learn, or sometimes it's funny because certain, like, events happen, like, after they told me something, I'm like, wow, like, get out of my brain, like,
Hey, it's kind of like you've done this before.
Yeah. So that's why it's just like, well, that's one thing I like. I cherish the stuff. And like with John, that's one thing I tell him too, because sometimes he'll refer like, well, my mom did this, my mom
Yeah,
did that, or like my dad did this. I'm like, okay, but you're a different person from them.
yeah,
Like, don't do this to the kids. Like, enjoy your life. If we can't give them like the brand stuff, oh well, let's give them the Walmart brand.
yeah.
You know, because it's like a lot of stuff like,
At the end of the day, like kids, it's not really what you give them. It's the time that you spend with them, the attention that you give them. It's not
mm-hmm,
really the material thing.
yeah. So that's one thing like I think Aaron always remembers. Like, for example, like he's so attached to my dad. He knows like once whether he's with my dad, he'll take him outside. They'll do something fun. Even with my mom, but even with me, like he knows like all right, if I bug mom, I know she's gonna take me out or we're gonna go for a walk.
Hmm.
Like that's one thing how he knows me. You get me?
Yeah.
So that's why like I always say they always remember mom, not to dad.
On the flip side of that, though, don't you think that your dad and your mom realized since they had the first go around with you guys things to improve on as well? So now they actually like make more time, like your dad, to go out with Aaron, and you know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, like it's true because I remember when Aaron was just like I think two or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad's like, "Do you want chicken nuggets?" And Aaron will be like, "Yeah," and my mom goes, "There's food at home." And then he would be like, "Nope, that's fine. If Aaron wants chicken nuggets, he's gonna get whatever he wants."
Listen, my grandkid is getting whatever he wants,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the job of a parent. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie,
There's
because
yeah,
it's like, hey man, let me try to be a parent. We don't want to give our kids straight sugar.
yeah.
And
And I'm just like, all right, great, here we go. So when I first saw my dad give Aaron like Coke, like the little Coca Cola, the glass
yeah,
bottles, and I'm
yeah,
like,
the glass
Mom,
bottles,
yeah, and
not the
I'm,
others. No.
yeah, right.
He didn't give him a little spoon keychain.
Well, I'm just kidding. No wonder he's so active all the time. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just kidding. I was like,
uh,
no, like it's already late in the day. You're giving him sugar, and he's like, he'll be fine. I was like, that's what you say now, but who's gonna be the one dealing with them when he's all
you say that
hyper?
now, guy, but when I'm trying to put him to bed at 11:30 and he's all hyped up,
I know I'm gonna go to your grandpa.
just call him up. Hey, Dad, can you watch him, please?
hmm So, but like I know that they cherish the moments that they have with them. You get me?
Yeah,
So that's why like sometimes I'll be like, oh, just leave them here. I'm like, okay.
you got it.
At times I was like, no, like it's not your responsibility, it's mine. But sometimes it's like, some people take like some parents do take like more advantage than anything.
Yeah,
But hey,
I can be one of those. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Um, but it's also like, I guess it depends on the situations too, because like for example, my dad's been sick for a minute, so he
hmm
hasn't been able to see the kids,
how's he
and
doing?
he's getting better.
That's
He's at
good.
home. He's chilling. I think he's just tired of being in that state. He's been like this for since like January,
Oh man.
sick and recovering. But but my mom, dude, she's any time of the day, any day of the week, she's like, just bring him. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go golf then, cause two birds, one stone. I get to golf, and you get to watch your grandkids.
Right?
That's the thing. Like we've had little arguments here and there about like around like the nutrition part. It's like, well, don't give them sugar. It's like, well, they're over here at my house, so let me
Exactly.
do what I do, and you do what you do.
Yeah, so that's one thing I told my mom. Um, that's the one rule that I told her
Mm-hmm.
that if he acts up in your house and I'm not around anywhere at all,
Mm-hmm.
then you are allowed to do the discipline.
Right.
She goes, and I told her because it's like if I was the one that telling her like, well, don't smack him, don't do this, don't do that,
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, then quit your job and you take care of your kid.
Right.
So she goes like, I'm gonna give him whatever I want. And I just told her just before I get home, please don't give him any sweets. Like
Mm.
she agreed on me on that one.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah,
See, the
but
cooperation is there, and that's key, right?
yeah. So that's one thing like I appreciate. So I'm just like, all right, I'm cool with that. But yeah, sometimes Aaron will be like, "Ma, grandma, or grandpa hit me," and I'm like, "Well, what'd you do?"
Yeah, that's always awkward. Aaron loves to like just
Snitch.
tell you her version of it. It's like, what would you do? I didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, for sure. They just
Just
get right at
magically,
you for no reason. Like, yeah,
right?
it's not like you pushed him off the toy he was on and you were playing with a
Mhm.
different one.
Oh man,
How is it with your two boys? How do they interact with each other? What's that look like?
Oh man. Well, one finds the other one. If the other one can't find the other one, they'll look for them. Sometimes, like one of them can be just chilling, watching TV, laying down. The other one jumps on top of them. They start fighting, and then Aaron would maybe be no, Sebastian. Sebastian would just like pile on top of him, or then sometimes like Sebby's just chilling or asleep, and then Aaron goes, wow, like falls on top of him. I'm like, oh my god.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and then Sebby's like a heavy sleeper, so it's like he doesn't feel it. I'm like, oh shit,
He's got
okay.
that tutu blood in him for sure.
I know. So, but
Earthquake and everything.
tell me about it. Nah, but they look for each other.
Mm.
So that's one thing I like noticed a lot. If they're missing for like a good while,
Mhm.
and then out of nowhere they just see each other, they're like, ah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Sometimes Sebby's not even in the car, and then Aaron's like, "Where's brother?" Or like, "We need to get brother," and I'm like,
Mm.
"Brother's not here." So
That's cool. I'm glad that they're like mingling together.
yeah, let's just see how it is when they're older. So you
Who's
got
the jealous monster?
I want to say Aaron right now.
Aaron.
Yeah.
The same.
Because if I do something with Sebby, like, Aaron just like, mom, 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 or like he starts to do something so he gets the attention.
Yeah, like our Erin, she just baby talks now. Uppy, uppy, and it's like, ooh.
Hmm.
You were saying whole sentences, and you were telling me like you were giving me a 15-minute ear beating like 5 minutes ago. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden you can't talk.
Hmm. Or like, oh, man, sometimes it's just like harder. Like, he'll want me to dress him.
Mm.
Before we go to school, I'm just like, dude, I don't got time for this. Come on.
Listen, son, I haven't even dressed myself yet.
Exactly. Like, and I'm just like, hey, dude, this kid. Sometimes he'll do it like he's good at it. Like, all right, I'm dressed, let's go. But sometimes he's like, I don't want to get up. I'm like, you're like supposed to be like this on the weekend, not right now.
Hmm. Thinking kids, man.
It's not one, it's the other one. Sometimes it's like I feel like we should all just take like a parenting vacation.
I'm down. Rosie's actually trying to set up like a mom's day. Like I was telling her, it's time for you guys to have another one.
Oh yeah, please.
Um, I don't know when, but yeah, we'll start planning it.
Now, what I was telling John, I was like, we should do a camping trip.
What kind of camping for you guys?
Yeah, or like all of us.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
tell you
some
this.
of us,
My wife
but
is a hotel kind of camper.
oh,
So,
nah. Like for me, I guess I grew up with the tent
mhm.
and an RV,
Oh, okay.
so it's like I've done both. But John's over here like that's not camping if you have an RV, and I'm like, oh my god, yes it is. But yeah, I'm more of like in the for the outs like the outdoors.
Hmm.
So like I'm all for it. I'm like yeah, but
That's a good trait, though.
hmm
A lot of females aren't into the
I think I
outdoors.
got that from both of my parents. So I'm actually glad. But sometimes it's like all right, like I'll get down dirty. I don't care. But sometimes I'm just like oh I don't want to get dirty.
Yeah, I think for me, like a vacation is like just going and doing nothing. But it seems
Mhm.
like we don't get that, because
Yeah,
usually only
kids.
get like a week or 2 weeks off of work, and it's like, all right, well, we need to go see things because the next time's not gonna be till next year, maybe. So
Yeah.
vacation turns into another work trip.
Or you know what? Like right now that we're talking about this, like I would remember like my dad would just be like, "All right, we're going camping," just so random
Mm-hmm.
on a Friday, come back Sunday. All right, we're going back. We're on our same routine on what's it called, like on Monday.
Mm.
Like we go to school, they go to work. It's like nothing ever happened. Like my dad would just be random sometimes too.
That's what I'm gonna wait till a little bit older, but I can't wait to do that with my kids.
Mhm.
There was one story that I heard somebody do, and he says that he'll, when they were younger, now his kids are older, he would put them to bed, and then like 5 minutes later, come into the room, and be like, "Who wants to go get donuts?" Do things,
Yeah,
little things like that, where you're making memories.
yeah, and you know what? That's one thing I tell John too. Like, hey, let's go to the beach. Like it's freaking 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or like 7 o'clock. Let's go to the beach. He's like, nah. I'm just like, ooh, like you just killed my vibe.
Take a chance, dog.
Hopefully he hears this. I'm just kidding.
No,
But
I sometimes it is a hassle, but I think you just got to keep in mind like it's not gonna last. So
yeah,
might as well.
it's like you got the kids at this like small age that they don't know what's going on. Or, like they have like the most brightest like face.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Everything's new to them, right?
yes, and it's like
Take
sand, water. Oh my
take
god.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's you know, I can be a selfish person. I'll admit that. So for me, I kind of have to learn the hard way, and lately it's been that it's like, well, I might not like it, but the kids like it, so
Yeah.
just do it.
And I
I'm
guess
not
like
gonna sleep. I have a hard time sleeping anyway, so might as well just sacrifice a couple hour or two, maybe.
mhm.
You're gonna feel the same in the morning.
Yeah. And it's like that's one thing I guess like with John, I don't show him that much attention
Mm.
as I should. Sometimes he gets mad.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, man. I was having that discussion with my wife. Was like, I need you to not. I don't need you to baby me, but I need you to, when I'm talking to you about something important, like assume it's important because I need that attention from you.
Yeah.
Stinking hair, dude.
Hey man. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Nah, but that's one thing like John always tells me. It's like you never show me that attention like how you show the kids.
So yeah, fool, but you're gonna be 32, and
What I know, right?
no, I'm the same way. Like I said, it is. It's a hard balance. That's all it is. Trying to balance family with your kids, with your wife, and
Yeah, like for you, you gotta work in the morning from one job. You gotta be another person here at the barber shop.
mhm.
Then you got your other job at home.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's like you basically got three jobs. Two of them pay you except one.
one's gonna pay off in the long run. We'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I might not believe it right now, but
You know it. It's there strong. Let's see. Shit, almost. Oh shit, nice, 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 nice.
thanks for coming through, fam. Appreciate the talk.
Thanks, same to you.